Hello, hola, namaste, I think you say. I I uh I don't know Hindi yet. I don't know Sanskrit yet. I don't know Tamil yet, but I plan to. You see, I plan to learn Hindi and much more. This cost me like $90. I bought a lot of programs, but I couldn't bring them all from the United States to Asia. This is one of the ones I brought. I plan to do it, but first, before I get into languages, I gotta finish my little non-paying job called YouTube. So, in this video, I plan to show you a Hindu admits that one of the gods of Hinduism is shit. Literally. You can't make this stuff up, and I was surprised he actually said so. He actually admitted it. Because he wanted to look like he was honest. And he was honest about that. But he fell for my trap question. So, and if he didn't answer, he would be a coward. So either way he loses, he cannot win. Because you cannot defend nonsense logically. It doesn't work. He responded to this video of mine called The World According to a Real Christian, where I said this.
Germania has Ziomania. It is one of Israel's bitches now. Mein Gott, how's Berlin bad? India boasts in being the biggest democracy, but that's boasting in being a mistake, as covered earlier.
The mistake is that it's a bandwagon fallacy. Why are you going to boast that your political system is a flaw in logic? That makes no sense. That's ridiculous.
Gandhi didn't free India. Hitler did by bankrupting the evil British Empire. India's main religion is very anti-Indian. Hinduism says that your birth is determined by karma of a previous life. So being born poor means that you deserved it. Hinduism slanders the poor. You deserve to suffer. You deserve to be poor. You babies, you poor babies, you deserve that. You must have raped someone in a previous life. You deserve that. So here it says that an untouchable woman was touched.
By the way, here it says rape and murder of a 19-year-old girl. There's no such thing as a 19-year-old girl. Because a girl becomes a woman when she hits puberty. This is what science says. Liberals' self-righteous opinions don't matter, except they do in a way, because they are the ones who make laws, and you know how that is. Anyway, over here, YouTube puts way too many suggested videos here. Oh, come on, let me get to it. So, Debasish Goswami said this, which you can pause to read for yourself. I don't have much time. So I said this, which you can pause. And he said this, including I am Assamese. The Assamese look more like the Chinese than like Indians because they're not Indians. They're Mongoloids. The Indians took them over, and probably the Assamese let them because they fear China. So they want the umbrella of protection that being with millions of Hindu thugs provides. Nuclear thugs. And it's interesting nowadays to see Afghanistan has the Taliban giving gifts from the United States, and now with Pakistan having nukes, the Taliban are probably going to get nukes if they haven't got them already. Isn't that interesting? But as always, I changed the subject a bit too much. Back to this. He says that low castes have more advantages than high castes. If that's true, which it cannot be true universally, only in some cases, if that were true in India, that's because India isn't 100% Hindu. It's nominally secular, which is a euphemism for atheistic. So the laws of India are not all Hindu laws. If it were a totally Hindu country, it would be even worse, even more oppressive. But you got a lot of non-Hindu Indians who make it so that low castes can have some advantages here and there. It's in spite of Hinduism, not because of it. He didn't say it's because of Hinduism, but I'm just making that clear. And he says, our own prime sinister is a Dalit. He's a Mason and he worships Satan. I prove that the leaders of the world in every country are devil worshippers. I prove that in my series on the overrated British Empire and others. He says, Jai Ganesha. Ganesha is the elephant-headed god. False god, devil. I like the character Ganesha in Bloody Roar. He's cooler than Dalsim, who breathes fire. Blah blah blah. You can pause to read. You can pause. He said, why do so many people like yoga? Because, like my libtarded ex-sister, she wants to feel spiritual without doing anything spiritual. She's like, look how spiritual I am. I do yoga. I am one with the universe when I stretch my back. You don't need to do yoga to have exercise. You don't need India to have any of those positions, really. Just like you don't need the Kama Sutra to have sex. Moving on. Oh, and also, when I say while doing nothing spiritual, actually everyone is always doing something spiritual, because thinking is spiritual. Because the mind is free to think, therefore it's not a slave. So it's not a slave to physics, so it's not physical. It's metaphysical, it's supernatural, it's spiritual. Which proves that there is an afterlife. So there's an afterlife, but as for the previous life, Indians can't prove that we had previous lives as maggots or lions or zebras. No. The only previous life that we have is that spiritually we were part of God as one of His breaths, as part of His spirits. God breathed into Adam the breath of life and man became a living soul. So I am a spark of God. Skintilamde is the username. You are a spark of God also. And you know what? When you go to sleep, you get closer to the earth, right? Man comes from dust. From the dust we were created. We go back to our origin symbolically. Then you have rest. You have rest, you have peace, you have nirvana, right? When you go back to your origin, the origin is God. That is how you can have happiness, by going to your origin. Not materialism, which is empty. Only God can give you happiness. Happiness that you can have even if you're being crucified. You'll know God will give you resurrection. God will put you in heaven if you die for Him and serve Him and love Him more than anything else. But Hindus don't love God more than anything else. They love lies because they defend lies. Like the lie that God is insane, that God is a manifestation of everything. So when Muhammad, a manifestation of God according to Hinduism, fights polytheists in Arabia in the Middle Ages, and they were killing each other, that was Brahman fighting Brahman. So the Hindu God is insane. He fights himself and he kills himself. I know what you will say. You will say, oh, but the Christian God kills himself. There's a huge difference. When the Hindu God kills himself, it's everywhere, all the time, for no reason. He's insane because he's not real. But the Christian God killed himself, sacrificed himself, let himself get killed, the Father being incarnated. The Son is His incarnation. The Son is the Father. He who has seen me has seen the Father, said Jesus. So God sacrificed Himself to pay for our sins as our substitute, because otherwise we would have to pay with our eternity. We cannot save ourselves. No amount of good works can save you. All false religions say good works can save you. But the true religion says you're not good enough for heaven. God can give it to you by His mercy, but you still need to do good works. You better serve God, because He can see how you think and you cannot take advantage of Him. Now, 10 minutes. I got like 5 minutes left. I have to hurry up. So I said, if karma doesn't determine how you're born, what does? And also he says, bad karma determines only punishment in the life you are already living in. But that's a false dichotomy fallacy. It's both. Your karma will hurt you in this life, but also especially the next life. The next life ensures it, because in this life, a lot of evil people get away with a lot of evil things. I mean, look at your politicians. Oh, that's right, you honor your Modi as if he's a good guy. Sure he is. That's why he's putting the spotlight on the Dalits raped. Oh no, he doesn't care. He's selfish. Exactly. So he says Shintoism comes from Hinduism. Just like the other Hindu I argued with in the previous videos. He's trying to get credit for all of the world's religions, saying they're all from India, or many of them are. He even said Christianity is from Hinduism. That's absolute nonsense. Well, Shintoism, alright, look. Shintoism is extremely ancient, and so, of course, is Hinduism. None of them are the oldest religion. But the thing is, you don't need, as a Japanese person, to know about the Hindu god of lightning for you to have a Shinto god of lightning, because Japan has lightning, believe it or not, Indians. Why do you have to resort to such nonsense? Trying to claim that they owe you for Shintoism, as if Shintoism were good. It's racist shit. And demonic. Look at their gods, they're so demonic, obviously demonic. He says, I would rather be a Buddhist. And he says, Buddhism and Hinduism never declared war in the name of religion. He's so ignorant. Myanmar has Buddhists who go after Muslims to kill them. And many Muslims flee Myanmar because of that. I think they're called Rohingya. I'm coughing because the air in Indochina here is shitty, because Indian influence wasn't very much pro-hygiene. It's about drinking cow piss after all. So look at his nonsense. He says Kali is not demon, but she looks like a demon. So the Hindu admits that Hindu gods look demonic. If it looks like a demon, quacks like a demon, duck, shits like a duck, then it's a duck. So let's see here. He gives a link to a video which says this shit. It says, Hinduism isn't polytheistic, it's monotheistic. False dichotomy fallacy. He loves that fallacy. Let's watch this shit just so you can see I'm not running away from a rebuttal as if it were a rebuttal. He didn't refute anything I said.
Did you know that Hindus actually consider Hinduism to be a monotheistic religion? Let me explain. People mistakenly think that Hindus believe in around 330 million different gods. However, that is not the case. Hinduism teaches that there is only one ultimate being called Brahman, who is considered to be the ultimate reality of this universe. All other gods, such as Shiva, Vishnu, and Ganesh, simply represent the different aspects of Brahman. Did you know that Hindus actually consider...
Did you know that YouTube Shorts are a pathetic way to rival TikTok or whatever competition does short videos? Did you know that the short format is extremely annoying? Well, now you know. There is only one true God, and that is Brahman. And your proof for that is... I have to wait for the next life. No, you don't have proof. Not in this life and not in the next. I already proved you wrong in my videos on Hinduism and others. So let's see here. 14 minutes done. I have less than a minute left. I'm going to have to do a part 2. Too much to cover. So he says, karma does not decide your next life. That's the job of Brahma. False dichotomy fallacy. It's both. If Brahma were real. So yeah, part 2 later. Too much to cover. See you in the next life of this YouTube series.